shot in there. Okay, skill the hell up, that's good. So you're just... That's a dual cap thing. I apologize that I accidentally hit the button that stopped the stream, so... this is interesting. So it's basically just going to be a draw then. Okay. I mean, it's too bad for you. That's a hell of a comeback coming back and killing that Hellcat. I think, you know, like I said, this is a very tricky map to play, specifically when there's artillery and TDs, because artillery really makes it difficult to play in that this area up here in the C12, and then artillery and TDs make it very difficult to push through this line down here. Like I said, I personally like playing up in the C12 early on because it allows, especially in a hull down or a tank that has a bit of a depression. Yeah, sorry, drunk lane. You kind of just like turned it off. I was like, why is it off? So I like it, especially when the other team has a bit of mobility in their stuff. Like for example, their Cheeto, their A43, their T3485, their VKP. Like you can kind of expect a lot of those medium and faster tanks to go over there, and if you can kind of control that a bit, sometimes it helps in doing the game. That being said, I mean you still were able to come back and you're still able to kill them, and then unfortunately it just ended in a draw. But yeah, I just feel you're very much if you run into anything down here and if they have any artillery or any TDs, it's very much, well, okay, we won that, now we got to drive all the way back. Whereas up here you have a little bit more flexibility to come back if you lose down here. So, I'm not sure it would change the outcome if you played out here. One of the things, though, at the end is whenever I'm against artillery, specifically when they're really fast, like so in low tier, I actually tend to float back towards my cap just in the event they try and cap. You did have enough time, though, when between the time I think you would have had enough time to drive back. I don't know. But yeah, I'm always wary of them capping when it's a one-on-one, especially when it's anything light or faster moving. So, maybe that would have been one of the things is just, once you killed the Hellcat, just kind of hanging back towards base a little bit more. But, what are you going to do, right? But I think you played it good at the end. It's a tricky map given the tank compositions out there, and had you played the C12, it might have been a bit more difficult with artillery shooting on you, but you still can play. You don't even have to go, like, depending on what you're comfortable with, you can go all the way up to C1, like if you have the team support, or you can kind of play back a bit more at the B3, because staying back here actually stalls them pretty good. It might have given your south time a bit more time to do some work. So, but appreciate the replay. So the next one coming up is a T34-3, and this is CPRAF 104. Ends in defeat. So we'll just get that going. How you doing? How you doing, drunk? Getting ready for the Super Bowl? Oh, wow, that's taking a while. Oh, that's too bad, man. Unless you're working at the Super Bowl, and then that's awesome. All right, open this one up. Fair enough. Okay. So T-34-3. This is the Chinese Tier 8 premium medium tank. And he looks like he's platooned with a couple other ones. Um, so the map is Stalingrad. We've talked about it a few times on some of the other replays. Um, uh, Tendencies, and then when I keep talking about tendencies, and that's just based off of what you generally see in matches. It's not always going to be the case, but it's what you generally see. 1, 2, 3 is generally your heavier tanks. From the north, you can see people if they're aggressive, they'll push up to this E3 area right here behind this wall and this rubble. If they're not, they might play a little bit more back here at the D1. You also see tank destroyers kind of go in this D1 area as well. And anywhere in these kind of buildings up here and slowly do a push down here. It can get a little bit hairy depending on where your tanks see stuff when you start moving up, but really about if they're heavy on this side down here, going through here to get around them. If they're heavy on this side here, trying to get around them going this way. So you kind of play it as it were. Your 7, 8, 9 is more generally your lighter sort of vehicles, though I still play it in my heavies. I like to specifically kind of go up to this E7 area and just watch and just wait, see if you can see anyone crossing through this gap here. I realize I have this, so I might as well just do that. So yeah, I generally kind of go to this corner here or this corner here and just look down here and just get information for the team and look across the courtyard. Really just to kind of feel for, okay, where are they? What are they doing? Your 9-0, your beach area is more your you'll see tank destroyers on both sides sitting at the back here down this one big alley, seeing if they get any shots. Your lighter tanks might make runs up the 0 line, different things like that. Artillery likes to sit at the back on both sides down here to shoot down it as well as into the city. I don't think it's very effective to go to beach because if you do, even if there's one tank destroyer here or mediums and lights and stuff down here, yeah, you're just very exposed. And like in the last map in Serene Coast that we saw, it's very hard to advance if there's even just a slight few number of them. So I like to play in here because it gives me the flexibility of if this is a weak spot in their defense line, if for example if they're pooled right here or back here, I can break through this and go through or go for artillery or flank these guys in the back here. I can cross the entire yard. I can get cross shots if they come out here. I think it's one of the positions that allows you to flex around wherever you need to. So I very much played in a way where I let my team distribute. I look where the other enemy team is, and I move accordingly. So for you, I think this would be a good spot to go. I mean, assuming I don't know if your teammates are going to go this way or not, and if you're going to stick with them. But I generally like playing that just because it gives flexibility. There are a few artillery pieces. And like I said, they either generally go down here in this area. Sometimes they stay in base if they're just lazy to move, and then and down here. So we'll just kind of roll it and see where it goes. There's not a lot of tank destroyers on the enemy team, so you don't have to be too worried about that. Good to know. Speed this up a little bit.
Let's go.
So your team's distributing very heavily to the east. So that's kind of what you guys have realized in your platoon is like, okay, well we need to anchor then the 1, 2, 3, and that's okay. I mean, like I said, the typical thing is is for your mediums and whatever's to go this side. I mean, in this case, they didn't. You also just found you can't go over the rubble, which in this map is a big issue I find, is there's way too many points that are choke points and cut off that you can't really move around. You are seeing that, I'm just going to slow it back down to 1 here. You are seeing on the other side of the map T-34, KV-4, IS-6, IS-3, T-28, Bulldog. You know, everything with the exception of that T-54, which is their only tiered 9, is on the other side of the map. So that's good for you guys. That says that you guys can move up a little bit more aggressively. See if you get a shot in here on him. Yeah, it goes through. I don't know if that was Heath that you're finding there or not, but yeah, so just doing a tank out here. I mean, you should just get in there and just devour that guy. Yeah, so that's good. You got him out, and you can put pressure here, right? You know, you see that the bulk of their team's on the other side, which is good because your team's on the other side. So you should just go in here and just bully the hell out of this Panther too. Like, he's only gonna get like 2 or 3 shots off, and he's gonna be done if you guys all go at the same time. Yeah, I would just go in there and just, if you finish, you can be pretty aggressive here because you saw artillery already fired, you have the tank advantage on this side of the map, and you're not going into a lane where a T-28 or something like that's going to hit you, so I would just get in there and just start cleaning. You got T-34 with you too, so artillery just fired, so you're good. It's a burn, nice. And now, next thing still, oh, what happened to your friend? He died! Like I said, I would just get in there now and just start. Basically, whenever you have a tank advantage like this, where it's so like you have such an advantage, just apply pressure. Just completely kill this side. Don't even focus on this side, because if you can get tanks out early, and you're okay. So there's a bulldog going to your base. So you're gonna lose all your artillery unless they get a good shot on him. Yeah, just apply pressure on this WZ. Because the less hit points and damage you can take, and your buddy, like, yeah, you might take a hit, but, you know, in the time you can DPM him down, hopefully you won't be too bad. It's 3 guns on 1, like, he should be dead before he can fire again, but you guys are turning to the side, like. It's because now your buddy's, you know, that guy could have been dead if all 3 of you just collapsed on him, but instead your buddy took another hit, and now he's 1 hit effectively. Yeah, so that didn't need to happen. Because realistically, you guys had 4 tanks to deal with on this side. You had the Panther 2, the T-37, the T-54, and then the WZ. And you had taken them all out without taking a lot of damage early on, but just by being way too passive and not using your HP, but your other friends using theirs, you lost a lot of tanks that you really didn't need to lose. Especially, like, you know, if you're communicating with your buddy there, you know, once he takes that first hit and he's down to half health, just tell him to back off. And you'll engage, you'll turn the turret, you'll get his attention, you'll take a hit, and then instead of him being half health or 1 shot, you know, now you're 3/4 health. It doesn't look like the Bulldogs are capping anything, so I wouldn't go out and chase on your own, because those Bulldogs could actually wreck you if they have the 10 shot clips. They will literally eat you. I would just stay back with your team, and try and eliminate the stuff down there, because the IS-6, the IS-3, the T-28, it's all down there. So yeah, unless you like gamma rack these guys, you might have some trouble if they just wolfpack you.
One of our tracks is damaged. The rangefinder can't hit. We can only shoot close targets.
Thanks for the follow, Risky. Alright, cool, so you get one of the Bulldogs, that's good. Your team back there, you know, you had a 3/4 health M103, and I don't know what I think the T-34 was half health. He lost both of those to tier 8, so that's a big loss just to get a bulldog. And then, like I said, they weren't even capping, so um, you know, it wasn't a priority in my opinion. All right, so you know where everything is, and now it's just a matter of nailing it. So hopefully, we can get this shot in here. Oh. Yeah, you were shooting heat that time, right? So it's tricky. If you hit those tracks, it's just going to eat it up, and you're not going to go through. This is just something you want to keep in mind. Is that if you're shooting heat, you're going to have to hit that front armor and not the tracks. Oh. Should be able to get him. I don't know why he's not looking at you. That's kind of hilarious. I find it funny too, these guys. Oh, uh-oh. Okay, so you get the kill there. And now you want to try and zone this IS-6 to keep your bulldog alive. It doesn't look like he's going after him, but just in case. Yeah, if you can try and get hauled down here as much as you can. Like, there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
It's working, but not very well.
You're probably going to want to eliminate that guy first. If you can. The bulldog's got the IS-6 preoccupied. Oh, it's too bad. That's a big miss. Now, I mean, so you're not going to catch that bulldog, honestly, right now. I don't feel like they're too far behind. I would almost have gone back and seen if you could have got around the T-28 before the bulldog could come back. Because now you're going side profile to him, which is not what you want. So I would just, that T-28's approaching you, so let him come. Let him come close, and let him make this, no. Oh, you're lucky. Because you can let him make the mistake. When he gets in close, you can maneuver around him, right? That's your advantage. And see, he's kind of backing up. That was no good. Now I can see what you're doing, but they know where you're going, right? The bulldog's not going to stay there. T-28 is going to turn, and I'd almost go back the other way, because now they don't know where you're going necessarily if you go back this way, except for when you get proxy lit from a bulldog. It's too bad. Oh, shooting you through there. So you're probably going to meet the T-28 on this side. You can hug the corner to see if you can proxy light him if he's that close. He was probably going back the other way, so he's just, there he is. Ooh, can you shoot him? Yes. Very nice. Now you can't assume that you can take a hit from him. Kill. Oh, does he hit you through there? No, don't do it. It's not worth. So this is where you have a lot of options, man. You can just drive around the entire map and then try and come up behind on the beach. You can, you don't have to, and that's what you're doing, right? You're recognizing the fact that he doesn't have mobility, and you can just more or less dictate where you want to go. The other thing too is you don't even have to have you don't even have to penetrate. I don't think. I think he's at 119 health. I mean, you could maybe HE. That'd be probably a high roll HE, so be questionable. You're going on a little bit of a journey. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit. So this is kind of risky because, let me just pause it. Where he was last seen was down a lane that he's gonna see you if he's still down there coming out this way. It's within spotting range, so even if he isn't looking, he's gonna spot you. Um, I'd almost have gone more north, like all the way to, up here and then down around like this. Just because it would have given you, like I said, if he's still there, because it wasn't that long ago that you were down there, he's going to just spot you and get that information that's so vital to him. But if you're able to just completely go around, or even the other way, you could have gone down here, come through this way, go back around there. Um, it's a little bit more secure, a little bit less risk. But I mean, you lucked out and he's not there. Well, now he is. And so he was moving south, so I don't think he's facing you. Yes, he is. Must have just been backing up. And so this is another decision. Like, he knows where you are, so I would just completely just back off. Just go all the way around. Just you have time. You have 3 minutes. You want to be unpredictable.
Bail out. This vehicle is
Yeah, it's too bad. So I mean, I think at the start there were some when you and your buddies were over there, you needed to cycle HP a lot better. I don't know. I wasn't watching your 112 that died to that WZ, but he died not doing any damage to him. That was number one. So he should have kept himself safe when he got to like half health. Two, when you were both engaging the WZ, you and that T-34, although you can only control yourself really, were very passive. That Bulldog really, in the grand scheme of things, compared to your two HP pools, didn't mean anything. You need to get that WZ out, and you need to trade your HP so your friend could stay alive. Because you imagine how much easier that would be if you had 3/4 health and your friend in the WZ had half health, and you could close out that game together. It would have been huge. So, you had tank advantage for one on that side, and you had early domination when you got that 254 out for like one hit on your friend. Um, so you needed to keep that pressure and keep that momentum and be aggressive to eliminate those tanks faster so that you could maneuver to the other side quicker. Late game, I think there was a few questionable moves in terms of like when he went after that first bulldog. He didn't play it that good in the first place, but if there was two bulldogs with 10 clips each, they can actually be really devastating. So I would have stayed closer to your team a little bit on that one, but you did get lucky and get the kill, so that was good. And then at the end there, I mean, you had time to reposition and be unpredictable, but you ended up being predictable, right? You came out of an alleyway that could have been spotted if he was down it, and then when he did spot you, you tried to kind of like peek and poke and just get that kill, and then he saw you moving straight, and then you disappeared from him, and then you just kept going straight over this mound right in front of him and got shot. So you had a lot of opportunity to move around and be a little bit more unpredictable, and you hadn't been. So I think those couple things, early game applying a little bit more pressure and being more aggressive, given what you knew was on the other side, doing a tank count, and then late game just making a bit more unpredictable moves and using your mobility a bit more. So. Appreciate the review though. That was great. The next one is Barakdorin, and he submitted before actually a replay, so this is the second one I think I've done for him. It's in his T-54 and it's also on Stalingrad, so I'll just download this one. Guys, we're halfway there to the goal. I still don't know what I'm going to give away, but I feel like giving away something reasonable. I don't know, maybe a tank or something like that. So if you got friends, think anyone would be interested, trying to build up. Alright, so we're back on the same map, Stalingrad. I'm not going to talk too much about tank placement again because we just went over it for this map, but general summary was your heavier tanks, TDs, sometimes 1, 2, 3, mediums, lighter tanks, 7, 8, beaches, lighter tanks, stuff, artillery at the back, down here, whatever. So being top tier in a T-54 is awesome, especially on a city map like this, because you can really use mobility to just go around and hurt people, and your DPM is insane. Looking at the other tank compositions, you guys are, I mean, you have the SDI at the top, which is awesome for you. It's a little bit heavier. Um, you have to be a little bit worrisome about their tortoise and WT. You don't, when you see them on the map, you want to make sure that when you move around, you're not going into choke points and lanes that basically feed them. Because if you go in front of that tortoise, he's going to wreck your shit as well as your PTA. So your advantage is to more or less stay away from those tanks until you can actually kill them. There are some fairly big artillery pieces, so you have to be cognizant of that wherever you go. When you're lit, you're probably going to be a high priority target, so you're going to want to hug walls once you get lit after you fire, and be a little bit more unpredictable and move as much as you can on the map. So when you show up somewhere and then show up somewhere else, and make sure that they have to traverse to meet you as opposed to you staying stationary for them. Like I said, I like to take my medium tanks into this kind of E7 area here and then just adjust based on where our tanks go. One of the things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to keep your heavy and your meat tanks alive, because they're really going to be able to support you to allow you to do what you want to do. So if you support them by flanking in whatever positions that they're holding down, you'll be a bit more successful. So we're just going to run it here. So you're heading out this way. See whereabouts you go. Your buddy in Leo hasn't moved. So yeah, it looks like you're kind of coming into the same position that I like. It might be going out to the beach. It looks like you're looking. I don't like to go out on the beach, especially when there's these type of TDs down there, because they like to just kind of anchor that sometimes, and it's a little bit harder to go down there. I'm not too sure what you're expecting to see out here, because you have tanks that are forward of you already scouting up here, so you're I'm not too sure what you're planning on seeing in front of you. A better spot, in my opinion, is because you have this WZ who's kind of looking out down here. He's not around the corner, so he doesn't see down there, but he's looking out here. So that's effectively your same position as well. And as well as you have a tiger down here, so nothing's really going to show up right in front of you. You have a 1390 who's here, so he can see all across down here. So where I would put you in this F6 so that you can kind of get shots down this alleyway and light down here. That way you have coverage here, coverage down here, coverage down here, and then coverage down here, right? So you want to fill the gaps of vision that your team's missing. Right now you're looking down somewhere where the tank's just not going to show up. So we'll just kind of zoom in a little bit. Now your WZ's looking down that lane. Okay, so there's KB4. You just got lit, so I don't know if that was the KB4 that lit you. Okay, well, something's that shooting at you. So you can be a bit more aggressive, right? Your team has identified where people are in these choke points, but you still don't really have good knowledge of what's down here. And being the more mobile, fast tanks that can kind of get a little bit more hold down, you want to push. You're pretty free to push along this bottom part here and get all the way down to the end to see if there's anything down here, and if there is, clear it out in advance of your heavy tanks, because you want to keep them alive. But you're making them kind of do the scouting themselves right now. So if you push down along here, you're relatively safe. You can come up and then get behind these guys and clear them out. Because right now you're kind of just you're not doing a lot for being top tier. All right, so starting to clear them out. That's good. Oh, yeah. Zoom it down a bit. You gotta aim those ones, bud. Take your time to shoot. I mean, you have the reload on them, so. And lower plate's a little bit more from the front there. Lower plate's a little bit more reliable than that bar. Like, you can go lower plate all day. You know, if we just pause it here. Yeah, see you, Risky. Thanks for sticking around. Um, you know, if we pause it here, because you guys have been fairly passive on the side. Like for example, you were scouting an area that had already been scouted, and then you were slowly pushing up, and then didn't go all the way. I mean, you probably could have killed that artillery because he was down there. Um, if we look at the other side of the map, you've lost the other side of the map. Because you know it's been 4 or 3.5 minutes, and you guys have killed a light tank, the T-49, who suicided himself, and the KV-4. But you have your 3 tier 9 tanks on this side of the map, and you've only killed a tier 8 or 2 tier 8s. One of them who suicided basically. So you need to be a lot more aggressive on this side. To like these should have been cleared by now, this time in the game, because your other side's gone. Hey, thanks for the follow, Apex. I think we're doing your replay today, aren't we?
Penetration.
So yeah, you should be able to get this guy down pretty easy, and he just fired. He has a small gun too, so you can even just like face hug if you really want. I don't know. He's not gonna do anything.
They're knocked out.
So this point in the game is, well, you saw one thing. You saw that something triggered cap, right? Most likely, it would have been either the Commodore or the T-71 that would have got cap, but they didn't stay in it. So that means that that tank is moving this way towards your artillery. So it's good that you guys are moving up this way to cut them off. So hopefully you can kill them before they get your artillery. If we look at your guys down south, so if nothing comes in there, these two should be able to take out the WT. It matters whether or not they have the fortitude to take a hit if they need to kill that out, because they need to get rid of that ASAP so they can either come back or start getting on cap. You guys have a good amount of HP pool. You should probably be leading it just because you have more for 1 and 2. You can kind of bounce a bit more than the PTA. But we'll kind of just roll it and see what happens. So it was the Comet that had went over cap and came towards you guys. And the other stuff's a little bit slower, so you have a bit of time. You just got to be wary some of these lanes, right? Like this C lane here, you don't want to be exposed to that. And you want to keep these buildings on your side so they don't you know, that honestly, that wasn't a good trade for you, ramming him. You lost 300 health for that, when you could have easily just hit him once and then the Leo could have killed him from behind. So, whereas he would have only shot you for like maybe 100 damage or something like that, you gave him 300 damage, so it's like he hit you 3 times. And, okay. So, a few things. So yeah, one, don't ram them. You're not a ramming tank, and unless it's like a late game needed or it's a mission sort of thing. I mean, this could have very well been for a mission, so you know, if it was, I apologize. You needed a ram kill, but I don't even think you still rammed him to death. But two, you knew they were on cap, and if you were trying to put yourself in this position here, it's just not a very good position to be in the first place. Because one, they have artillery, so you can get artillery in there, but two, you then can't move and use your mobility. And three, you just went across a firing lane and just got hit for 331 from that tiger, and now you have to back out. And if you back out, that tiger's going to get one more shot on you, and probably that JP is going to have an angle on you if you have to back out that way. So you really didn't need to extend like that, and you also could have used this as a great opportunity to do a little bit of almost like, I guess, flanking in a regard. Like if your PTA stayed here, and if they wanted to push you, by all means, you guys could DP them down real quick. But you know, you could have gone back a little bit, and I wouldn't suggest going on this corner because you're probably going to see the Taurus and IS-6 come in pretty quickly. But you know, just kind of gone around and just use your guys' mobility a lot more, because what just happened was you went from having, I think it was 1100, 1200 health down to less than 600 in the matter of seconds because of the ram, and then trying to take a position that really wasn't the best one to go into. So we'll just kind of roll it, but surprised that Tiger 2 didn't try and push to get another shot. I mean, cap's not really that big of an issue right now. It's not them on the cap. Ooh, Artie's on the cap. Uh-oh, watch out for that Artie, man. Yeah, that... you didn't need to really poke out like that. Get hit by him. You're kind of doing it again. Still got the Taurus on your side. I mean, so you guys lost. It was 2 hits on your Leo and 2 hits on you. So 1,200 damage to that Tiger, I guess. And it wasn't really needed. Like, there was a lot of times where you kind of came out there, side profile to get a shot on the Tiger 2, and that one time you missed and traded, they hit for 300 and you hit for none. I mean, the biggest thing for you is you need to keep your health in the game, and those weren't really good trades, right? Like, he wasn't on cap, it was the Artie. So there wasn't really any pressure there to kind of poke out and take damage. And the more that you stayed there, the longer you gave the opportunity for these tanks, like the Tortoise, to come back around. So, I just think you need to use your mobility a bit more. Like, this tank is so good about just moving around, and all you've done is effectively just stayed in the same spot and let their team collapse on you. And you've been trying to take out one tank that, really, in the grand scheme of things right now, didn't really mean anything. He wasn't on cap, he wasn't doing anything. Like, you could have just left him there. But now you're in a position where you're both one shot. You got artillery basically pushing on you, and a Tortoise on your side. So, yeah, I just think using that mobility a bit more is really where you guys should have focused a bit. But I don't know if you're gonna get a kill on him. Push forward. Do you know what a Tortoise? Okay, so your buddy gets killed. Now, here's the thing. No, don't back up. So, you only have the Taurus up here to deal with right now. Like, it's going to be a small window, but that's the only thing you have. Nobody. No. Oh, you guys are so lucky with that. Alright, so this is where you want to do the flanking thing. Like, he's going to go around. Once he turns him, you should be coming around this side here. So, if he gets turned completely, we got to wait for it, though. Okay, so he's turning, so you can probably get a shot in. Don't extend too far to the point where he can turn back and shoot you, but... Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, get safe. So now your buddy should be able to come, and he can even come around here if he wants.
Where'd they go?
Now you gotta remember though that these guys are coming. They have shots down this lane. So your buddy's got to be careful because they have shots down that. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, see, you had known their last spot was here, so they guarantee they were coming up this path. So that was a bad lane for your buddy to kind of go down into. Oh, that's too bad. No, stay to the other side. Don't. There's just a lot of positioning things I think you should work on in terms of keeping buildings and different things in between you and them, and then not trading that HP for things that aren't really as I don't know, important at time, right? Like I said, that ram and that trade to get into that one position, just they weren't in your favor. So at this point, it looks like you're kind of just trying to create some distance to come back around. Chances are they're probably not going to come off cap. So eventually, if you want to win, you're going to have to go back there. The wild card right now is that IS-6. You don't know where he is. I'm just going to zoom this up. Okay, so if it's true, then all three are on cap. Which means probably not going to get back in time.
We've lost the track.
Yeah, that's
Let's
too bad.
go. Enemy armor is damaged.
Yeah, so I think, early game, when you guys saw what you were facing on that side versus what was on the other side, you need to be more aggressive. It was very much like the last game where you have a tank advantage. You have open lanes to move. Like early on, you had, when you got spotted up here and you just stayed there, and then you saw the KV4 and whatever in here, you could have just bolted it down this whole line. You probably would have got that artillery out. You could have came up behind and cleared them a lot faster. Would have even cleared that WT that was in there as well, right? He was in here as well. You guys could have cleared that very quickly. And had you done that quicker, and you might have taken a bit more damage, but you would have been a bit more involved in the game, or you could even push their cap to take pressure off your northern guys. And then late game, obviously, trading that 600 HP in a few seconds for virtually nothing was not a very good trade of HP, and then just sticking around there too long in the same position gave the enemy the time to just reposition and come into you, right? Like you sat there long enough that a tortoise was able to move from D2 all the way up to D6. So that's a long time. That's probably over a minute and a half. Just using that mobility a bit more, and knowing when you have a tank advantage on one flank, especially when you're top tier, to really just put the gas pedal on and lay it down, right? So thank you for that. The next one is Type 59 Transfusiionz. And the map is Pearl River. Come on. Okay. Pearl River. This map, going back to tendencies of what people do, generally you'll see your heavier stuff off the bat either take this middle path from the substation to this middle path, or they'll go north. I've seen it being more so the fight is up here, and the middle is normally your lights get there really quick, and then they'll go down these other paths here. So it's kind of like, in mines, how there's the who can take the mine hill. It's almost a little bit like that up here now, where your lights from both sides try and get it there really quick and see if they can get down any of these paths. And sometimes you'll have your heavies go up here, but it's an uncomfortable spot as a heavy to be, because for one, you have to actually have the enemy team come up here, and then two, you're in an artillery lane, so that kind of sucks. And then three, if the enemy team lights and whatever manage to get up on any of these paths here, they can just shoot you in the side. So it's kind of, depending on where your team goes, it's a very not fun place to be. Whereas up here, you're somewhat artillery safe. You can kind of play some hull downy stuff. And it's a bit easier of a spot to play. So I usually see more heavier stuff going here, but they can go middle. Your tank destroyers, they can go anywhere from being up in this area as well to generally on the north side. They may sit back anywhere on this ridge here, or up in these mountains here, or if they move up even in here. This is a bit of a wild card down here. It's either half your team or more goes that way, or a few of your team goes that way. I personally like it only when a few of our tanks go here and they don't go too far and just kind of anchor one of these positions in one of these firing lanes. Sometimes you'll have people go through this little city area here, but you're very exposed once you get past it, so it's a bit of a risky move. In this case, looking at tank composition, we're in a Type 58. We're middle tier, so we don't have a lot of HP in comparison to the top guys, and our alpha's not huge, so we just got to keep that in mind. There's quite a few artillery in the game, at least on the other side, so we want to make sure that we're staying safe when we can. They have a bit more TDs, so you can expect a lot more of their guys to be up here. Some of them may come this way, like maybe the Hellcat or the T-25AT or something like that. But it just what it means for me is that if we win the north here, or if we win middle or whatever, I wouldn't want to push out either down this waterway or come out the middle or go up this ramp here, because it exposes you to the TDs in their base. So if you win these positions, in my opinion, you need to reposition back and take a different approach where you're not as exposed, and then you can start clearing out the TDs. So it just depends on where they put their tanks, but if they go in traditional spots, you don't want to blindly walk into them. So, in looking at tank composition as well, it's fairly close across the board. I mean, it's unfortunate for them that they have a Churchill GC, but that's, it is what it is. It's in middle of the pack, it's fairly medium. Middle of the pack, it's fairly medium. Top tier, they both have a top tier tank. I like the Tiger over the IS, but it's not that big of an issue. You have a bigger artillery piece, but you only have 2 of them, so they're going to be firing more frequently, but yours might be hitting for more damage. So we'll just kind of roll it and see where we go from there. So if we look at tank positioning, like I said, it's risky. It's either half your team goes down this way, which is happening to you right now, or not many of your team goes that way. So you guys don't even really have a presence in the north here right now, which kind of sucks. And your middle's being held down fairly good by the C-70 E-25. Sorry. The thing you have to be worried about right now is artillery, because once you start getting up here a little bit, they can shoot you. And because he was the only one lit on your team, they're going to be zeroed in there. So there's the first one. And you're kind of sitting in an open spot, so you have to be worrisome that they're all aiming in on you right now because you were the only one lit at that time. Alright, so you want to try and get around this T-25 AT. You don't want to hit face him. You can get around him. You can get on his backside right now. When he fires, get around it. Just go behind him. Okay, now it's too late to go behind him, but... Okay, so you side scrape on him. He hits your track. I think he has a small gun anyways, so... Alright, so he's down. Now you probably want to clear this. It's easy stuff to clear. They're low health. You have tanks to do it. You just want to get them out. Okay, so you get a hit on him. Finish. Uh-oh. Don't take a hit from the ELC. Don't take a hit from the ELC. Don't take a hit. Okay, good. Now, okay, clear the JP. Get around him if you can. See, there's another thing too. Is you really... In this type of a game where you only have 700 hit points, 750, taking a RAM of 187 is huge, right? And you had the ability to go around them, because you were on a path just like this, and then you turned into them. If you had gone around them, you'd still have full health, and you would have killed them anyways. So just beware of some of the rams. They're not always. I know they're fun as hell, but they're not always the right thing to do. Got some lucky bounces, I guess. Okay, so because we never really had a presence up here in the first place, we still don't know what's up here, but we can kind of deduce it a little bit from what we've seen on the map. So we know the Tiger's there because he just got lit and killed your guy. We don't know where the T-3485 is, so there's a decent chance that he's up here. Type 58 we saw, which is down here. Churchill GC we saw is here. You can probably expect the Hellcat to be in this region as well, just because, like we said, that's where typically your tank destroyers go. And then you have 3 artillery pieces, so you can expect them all to be over here. We don't know where the VKP is, so if I were to be a guessing man, I would say you have the Tiger, the VKP, and the T-3045 up here. That would be my assumption, is you have those 3 tanks here. So given that, you're in the right direction, you're running away, which is good. You have an AT-15A, I believe. Is he looking your guys' way? He should be. I think he's looking. I think he's looking this way, but he should be turning around to help you with his Tiger. You do have your IS going down that way, but he's not going to do too well against those 3 tanks if they're all there. Okay, so the Hellcat's over here. So that was a surprise to me, but he's here. Your IS gets a good shot on him. Now you probably don't want to trade with this Tiger, if you know what I mean. So you gotta be very careful here. Okay, so there's the VKP. Even with the VKP, you probably don't want to trade with him. Keep him lit like this so your artillery can shoot at him, but I wouldn't be trading damage with him.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Oh, he's coming. So he has the derp gun, he's shooting HE.
We can only signal nearby vehicles.
You're putting good damage into him, but you know, you're gonna lose quite a bit of health to him. You should just go through the same holes that you've been shooting before, man. Like, here you go. So you got him. See if you can get any side shots on these guys when they cross the bridge. Now, so the VK was here. The Hellcat was here and went on the other side. T-34 was on the other side, not here. I don't know how you guys just lost all your tanks down here, but that was a huge bit of tanks you guys just lost. Alright, well, I'm just going to keep rolling it. Alright, so you're getting some side shots on this boy. That's good. Your IS is really low, though, so see if you can finish the Hellcat. Good. Alright, so your IS got at least 1 hit in, which is what you needed. Now, you're not going to be able to... If he turns on you, okay, good. That's what you needed. I was going to say that you weren't going to be able to hit him or kill him in 1 hit, but at least somebody else hit him. Let's just take a pause again. So, if we look at where the other team was, we had 1 artillery piece up here, which you should probably go kill, right? It's a free kill at this point right now. You have your AT-15 right here holding base. He's full health, so you can kind of be okay with base a little bit for now. And when I say a little bit is because I don't really trust him. You're definitely not going to want to push base because, for one, you don't have the HP to do it, and yeah, it's just not a good idea. So I would go clear out this already right here, and then probably come back to base and set up defensively. I would actually probably set up where you are right here, like in these bushes right here, so that you have side shots on anyone coming through this valley and you can spot them, and let them come to you, because you really can't push them yourself at this point. Just going to zoom in, or speed it up a little bit. Alright, so let's see if you can get a kill on this conch, or yeah, GC. Kill. Okay, and your Type 59 in the north killed the other already, so that's good. Because you shot that GC, you're probably lit, so I wouldn't stay too stationary. The other thing too, now that you've seen, is your AT-15 at this point in the game has actually moved away from the base. He's been there the entire game when the fight wasn't there, but now that the fight's not there, he's moving away from the base. But that's when he needs to be there, because now there's that Type 58 there. You're going to want to go clear that, and because, yeah, that's going to be an issue. And so you're sitting pretty stationary, and I don't think you want to push their base right now. But I mean, it is what it is. Because the T-3485 will probably wreck you guys. Especially if he's full health. Yeah, so I mean, it's unfortunate that your guy left the base basically as soon as as soon as the fight actually came to base. But hopefully you can get some spots from here and it's a good reset. So you gave enough time for your AT to come back, so you can just let him kind of. Okay, that's a good kill. Oh, can you get him? He's probably going up the pass, so if you want to cut him off in the mid here, like if you went back up to cut him off. Good. Oh, is that bishop gonna nail you? Because that would suck. So at this point, you're probably you want to get D-lit and then you want to move. Because you're not worried so much about base anymore. You have your AT-15. He's turning up to look this way. So if the Type 54 comes around this way, then that's he's dead. And your AT-15 could probably stay at base. So what you can do is you can actually probably I would just go like all the way around and see if you can get that bishop or whatever, or come up on the backside of this Type 54 and surprise him. You don't really want to stay here just because, for one, if the artillery had a shot or was close to a shot, he's repositioning so he can get a shot here, which when you get lit again is just going to drop on you. And then I don't think the alpha of the Type 64 can kill you in one shot, but if you stay here, he knows where you are, right? And he can come proxy spot you if he comes up this far. So you're rolling off, all right? I mean, at this point, you don't have to be. Oh. You're AT-15's character, that's for sure. So now nobody's guarding your backside, though. Let's zoom in a little bit, or speed it up a bit. Oh. Oh, he did have the alpha for it. How does this play out? See, that was part of the thing, right? Is you kind of stayed in that position too long, because if you stay there, he knows that's your last position, right? So he's going to try and go to a position where he can get a little bit more visibility on where you're at, but with less risk to him. So he went all the way around, went north here to see if he could eliminate you from the backside, which he did. So, it's very much, you want to be unpredictable, right? They saw you were there. Now go somewhere else where they don't think you're going to come from. And so that's really the kind of key thing that I've seen in a few of these games is just staying in the same spot and really giving them all the information while not getting any new information about them. Oops. I'm just going to speed this up a little bit because I think it ends in a loss, so I'm assuming this guy gets either circled or whatnot. He's just holding down the fort. Yeah.
One of our tracks is damaged.
Oh, wow. So he's just getting a feast on him right now. Well, that's basically that. Insult to injury, doesn't even kill the bishop. Yeah, so I mean, one of the things we saw was you guys didn't have any presence north. which was fine given the lead that you got at the start. Right, you guys cleared out middle, you killed a few people there. Your team kind of just, even though you had a big presence in the south and it looked like it was going fine, they just got absolutely washed. Um, Near the end, you did clear a few good things, like the Type 58 and the T-3045. You did good work on those. You killed the VK. That was good too. But at the end there, I think it was specifically when it's down to that 2-on-2, 1-on-2, 2v2, whatever it is. That being the unpredictable and moving around and using that the mobility that you have to reposition. You have an entire map, right? And when you stay fairly single situated like that, especially when you have the opportunity to move, like when you had just got delete from that Type 54 or 64, sorry, you knew he was somewhere on that path, and you had the whole map external to that to move around, so you could have repositioned around here, or you could have kind of dropped off and gone back around here, or there's a lot of different things you could have done. And in comparison, the Type 64 did that, right? Like once he got delit, he moved into a position that was not predictable, right? You were looking down the mid lane saying, okay, well, this is where his last spot, so I'm going to assume he's here. And he's like, well, I'm going to use that to my advantage. I'm going to go around and flank you. So I think at the end there is really where, it may not have worked out, but you repositioning to something unpredictable, it would have been a bit better on you. But thank you for the replay. The next one we have is from Apex. I don't know how to pronounce it. ApexCarid. I just want to call you Apex. But so T20 on mines. So we'll fire this one up. Okay, let me zoom in. Mines. Small map. Generally, heavy early engagement and then long drawn out battle. Unless it's a big crush. Great thing about this right off the bat that I see is there's no artillery, which really frees up this map to do a lot more things than you could otherwise. For example, you have the ability now to play this area right here, because otherwise if there was artillery, you're just going to get artillery all day. So where do tanks go on this map? Generally at the very start, it's known on this map that your faster, more medium tanks off the bat will try and make a push up to this middle mine center to control that, because it gives you vision opportunities on this whole side here from poking on the south, and vision opportunities over up here poking on the north. You can also kind of go over the top and shoot tanks in the back, etc. It's a really strong position to have, but sometimes it means losing a lot of tanks to get. The north inherently has an advantage in getting on the hill. They generally get up there faster, and also their approach. Like you can have tanks even just sitting here that are able to hit your tanks trying to come up here. Whereas on your side, it's very more difficult to get into a position to actually shoot their tanks coming up the hill on that side. So for a lot of reasons, it's very difficult for you to win the mines from the south side. Really what it comes down to is tank composition. If you have more lighter tanks and autoloaders and different things like that that can get up there quicker than their tanks, you have the advantage. So if we look at that, plausible tanks that can get up there fairly quick, so you and the T20, Fury is going to be pretty, reasonably slow to get up there, same as the Type 58 and VKP, but really your force of who would go up there if they could is T20, Fury, Type 58s, VKP. Those are really the ones you're going to have a presence up there. If we look at the other team, Comet, T-43, T-20, T-25, maybe T-34. So they have a lot more at the top end. So they may not necessarily do a lot more damage, but they have more HP. So because they have north, because they have the tank advantage for people to take mines, I'm guessing the enemy team's probably going to take mines. But what you can do when you notice that is instead of taking the mines, because there's no artillery, you can just pool in here and stagger yourself so that you can get up to this position in here, or even wider if you want to, and punish them for taking the hill. So you may not hit the first guy it goes up like the Comet or something like that, but the next guy, you might even kill him if you all just sit there and fire. So what I like to do on the south side, especially if there's no artillery, is be like, okay, we're just going to go here, we're going to line up, and anyone who wants to take that hill, we're going to punish them. You know what I mean? We're going to lay into them. So that's probably what I would do off the start. Another thing that's kind of a big key play is this 1-2 line on this. If you just forget about it on either side, you can get punished pretty good from it. But once again, more so from the south, because if they take this all the way up, they kind of like hide behind this. They can haul down on the back side of this. They can go all the way in here, and they'll get back shots on any of your hill in here. So you want to make sure that you kind of control or at least contest this, and you don't have to put a lot of tanks there. One tank in this little H1 area can poke around and just see if anyone's pushing up here, but also on the back side here can poke around and shoot up into this lane. It has a complete firing lane right in here, so you can almost help contest hill from down here, as well as pincer off this one line. Another position from the south is if you run all the way up here into this area here, there's a little hill here, and you can kind of just keep poking over and shooting anything in here, as well as maybe playing with some of these buildings and shooting people that come on this backside, because this little rock right here is another area where people kind of duke it out. Some of the more heavier tanks go there. And because there's no artillery, you can assume that there's going to be some heavy tanks on both sides going up here to kind of duke it out. So we'll just kind of run it. I guess the other thing too is tank destroyers mainly sit up here, and from the south mainly sit down here. Artillery sometimes goes behind this rock in the north up here. Artillery on your side goes behind houses back down here. So we'll just see how it goes. So it kind of looks like you're heading out to that rock out here that I was talking about, which is fine. If we look to middle, you guys are looking to put a push up there. The thing is, I mean, if you just see, if you see that, right? This is what I mean is they can get up in there a lot quicker than your guys can even crest around that corner. And on top of that, you can see all these tanks have an opportunity to fire on whatever goes up here. So you're better off, all these tanks, just holding right here and just firing into the side of the people going up. Like, there's no point trying to go up and just dying in there, because you're getting hit by all these guys, and you're getting hit by all these guys, and you're getting hit by all the TDs that are up here. So their opportunity is to punish them for going up and let them have it. And then in that way, when you eventually push the mines in the top, you're not dealing with full health tanks. But if they're trying to just funnel in there, I mean, this 58 is going to just get popped here. But like you can see, this is the rock I was talking about. On this side, you can just poke around to get vision down here. But on this side of the rock, I don't know if you can kind of see, but if you're down there, you actually have a firing lane right in here, so you could hit all these guys. So there's your 58 that just went down. So you got shots on all those guys. So you're kind of like almost overexposing a little bit there. Nice fire though. Oh, does he have a fire extinguisher? See if you can get the kill on the SU. Just looking at the rest of the map, so there are a few things, right? Like, they took mines, which it was expected being from a north position, but they've also wrapped all the way around here too, right? So these guys in here are getting shots on anyone in here or anyone down this way, and your entire team is literally pooled into the one spot. Like, doesn't look too great. Um, but on the flip side, what that tells you, if we look at tank count, they've invested pretty much everything into mid. There, so Stewart's there, T-34 is there, T-25 is there. How do I remember that? M4 is in the north up here, which against the Tiger shouldn't be that bad. Hellcat is up there. You don't know where the T-25-2 is, so he's probably back here. AT-7 don't know where he is, so probably back here. SU went middle, and all these guys went middle except for the T-20. So what that tells me is once you're done shooting in here, you kind of have free reign to push up here a little bit and see if you can kind of create a nuisance up here. Because there really isn't anything here. They're all invested here as well. So we'll just kind of see how this plays out. Your JP almost sees that, so he's going for just a run. He's going up there. But going through this way, see the AT-7 is there. That path that he just went down is not really a good path to go down. Because him running into an AT-7, he's going to lose that fight every time. What would have hit you? That could have been the T-25 too. So the T-25-2 may be right here on this corner. And you have to be aware of some of that, because every time you poke out now, you're getting lit. And you did get shot from over here, so you might get shot again from that guy. You just gotta be careful about that. You keep getting hits on him. That's good. I mean, your force here is doing well. They're pushing in, but they are getting flanked. I don't know if they're realizing that. And you should almost want to be helping that, right? Like, you got shots on the Comet. The T-25-2 or T-25 just dropped off. Oh, it just sailed. So, and there's not a lot you can really do about your teammates, right? But they're not really helping you here, right? They had a big ball. You guys managed to take out the bulk of their force in the middle here, but then they just kind of rolled past it. And chances are that Black Prince is broadside to something, whether it's T-25-2 or the T-29. They're getting flanked from behind, but not really caring about it. You guys down here are pretty isolated from the fight, with the exception of your view on this. But there's only so long you can kind of stay down here and let them get flanked. So we'll keep rolling it, but your team's not really. They're putting themselves in a lot of bad positions. So T-20 just came up. So hopefully you get the kill here on this. Oh, it's too bad. So this is a priority target, right? This T-20, because this guy is easy enough to take out at the end, but this guy can do some damage, right? So he just took out your KV-1. Your Black Prince just went down, but you need to focus on this guy. Okay, well, you dropped off, so you can't do that right now. Because these two are inconsequential right now. You don't care about these two, and you can't apply pressure to these guys. So that means this is the only one you can target, and this is the guy you need to take out right here. Because this guy really doesn't mean anything. I mean, your KV-1 is dead regardless because he's up against the Comet, and you might have got one. So you got one shot on that guy, but in the meantime, this T-20 has literally taken out your entire team down here. So he finally goes down. The Panzer 3-4 of all things. So you know where their tanks are. This guy's slow. He's not going to move. This guy's not going to move because he's been there the entire game. He's not going to do it. you're putting yourself in a position where you're open to this gun, and then this guy, he can poke in here. So if I just say it, he can poke right in there. He can come here. And you don't really have support from any of your teammates if you poke around this corner. So for you, this is where you need to be like, okay, well, I need to find a different approach of attack, right? What you really want to do is you want to eliminate this comet first, however you can. So you have the you have the freedom to go back around, come back here, see if you can see him, maybe even take mines, poke around, get some vision, stay safe, but really not put yourself in a position where you get shot by these two guys. You can even go all the way around here, like up to this this position, like I said, up here, and see if you can, because when you go up here, there's bushes right here that you can sit behind, and you can spot anything in this area right here. So it's kind of just, you want to bounce around this map to get vision to eliminate that comet, because once you get rid of him, then your next one should be getting rid of this guy up here if you can, while getting free shots on the AT7, because you just don't want to approach this. This guy is easy to take out, right? It's you get vision on him, you reposition to a point where you can get around him, you take a hit to get around him, and then you're behind him. So that comet in the middle is really what you want to be focusing on. See, so you just took a shot from the T-25-2. Might take another one from him. And you need to be over there. You can't be sitting passive like this. You need to get over there. This is the comet has given the opportunity. He's like, I'm out in the open. I'm extended past my teammates. I can't get help from them. You need to kill him. Oh, that's unlucky. So hopefully you can get the kill on him now. Okay, so you got to get that's what you needed. Now, once again, you don't want to approach from here. This is no good. Like, all you're doing is they know you're here, and if you approach from here, it's okay. Well, that was predictable. I'm basically like no, this guy shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. What you want to do is you want to move around. You want to create that different flank, and because these tanks excel when tanks come to them, which is what you're doing right now. Okay, so your guy just got killed from the side here. There's a complete behind this. I love this position over here at the start because, for one, it gives me shots on. Like if from the north, if I go here, I can clear everyone behind this rock from right here, and I also can clear everyone behind this rock from right here. So he's moved up to there. And so now you're approaching straight on into an AT7, which is what the AT7 wants, and you got broadside to a T-25-2. You need to bug out. And it may be a little too late. You're going to have to take a hit from him, but... Okay, so that's one idea. On, you repaired the tracks. No! I remember this one. So you're you're a little bit hooped here now, right? Because you took that first hit, but you didn't get out. So you're probably going to take another hit trying to get out. Okay, I don't know why the T-25-2 didn't just stay there, but... AT7's coming on the backside, that sucks. T-25-2's there. Is he not going to shoot? Ooh, gets the track too. Yeah, so I think, you went to that early position that I talked about that is, this is a very viable position. It lets you cover down the one line, but it also lets you shoot to mid. You use it effectively, and you took out the KV3, and you did a good bit of damage. But when it came to that late game, when it was getting down to the limited tanks, you stayed in the same spot, right? You didn't do anything different, and you let them um, isolate and take care of the rest of your team. Like, if you had been over there with that Fury, chances are you might have actually been able to DPM down that Comet before he even killed your Fury, which then would have allowed you to move around to different parts of the map and maybe eliminate these different sort of tanks that were in here. Instead, by staying super stationary, your team got killed out and slowly, and then they just came on you. So um, I think it was really key to know that, okay, you've won this side, but that doesn't mean you can just push straight in. And the AT7 was the least of your priorities, and the T25 was the least of your priorities too. But you were focusing a lot of attention on these two um, when it really wasn't really doing much for you. So very much this map is about, if you're from the south, getting early damage and punishment on them for taking the hill. And then making them come to you, but then repositioning. Like I do it all the time when I play on this game. Is I'll either go here, or I'll go here to get early shots mid game, and then go here, and then I'll just rotate. Like I'll just do this kind of like zigzag thing back and forth until I can eliminate people here. Um, and it's purely because that's the only thing you can do, right? When you sit still, you allow the team the ability to just kind of close in. It's the same thing we saw in the last game, right? Like if you stay in the same position for too long, the enemy team is going to reposition and make you pay for it. So, yeah, but appreciate the replay. It's unfortunate it turned out the way it did, but appreciate it. So the next one, the last one we have actually, is from Gonstackk, and it is LTTB on steps. Now this is a victory, and the reason I have it is because I didn't get a 6-1. That was a loss or a draw, and I figured why not go out on a win. Yeah, Apex. It's it just comes with experience, right? You start to understand that when is a flank really not winnable, or when is it not worth actually pushing that. So when you realize that, hey, I can't actually push an AT7 because if I do get behind him, I have to deal with a T25-2 hitting me. So you kind of prioritize targets in your head, and you dictate a little bit quicker. What's the right course of action to take this out, right? So it comes with experience about playing the game and doing that. So yeah, this is the LTTB on steps, and like I said, this is a victory, so don't expect it to be a loss. But as far as I'm aware, it seems to be a fairly hefty game. I think he gets around 2,500 damage and 5 kills. So I'm just gonna pause it here real quick. This map, tendencies, heavier tanks, play the 1-2. Though I have seen a lot recently, and I play it myself, I like to bring my heavy tank this way and play a very aggressive push on the very bottom side here, because you can kind of just go down this very bottom side, come up on the back side here, and then flank whatever's here, so you can eliminate their side very quickly if you can push it very quickly enough. And you're also very close to their cap when you do that, so if you need to apply pressure for cap because they've crushed your other side, you can do it. Your lighter medium stuff like to go there as well, so it's also too, if you're in your heavier tank and doing it down there, you can kind of bully them a little bit, especially if you're top tier. But yeah, you'll see a lot of heavier tanks generally play this way. TDs can be anywhere along these ridge lines here from the north and here from the south. You'll sometimes see TDs sit in this back pocket here to shoot straight down out of render range, and same thing up here. Your artillery usually from the north sit around here. Your artillery can sometimes sit in pockets back here or anywhere around this back wall. You'll sometimes have TDs sitting here in this pocket because they have a firing lane straight down here. The middle road's a little bit of a wild card. Late game, it can be used effectively to cross the entire field without being seen. So use it as you will. So probably what we're going to see is him and his LTTB go this way and do some early initiation there. It's a good matchup for the LTTB because tier 7 and tier 8 it can do some good work. Tank compositions, only one artillery piece. You guys are a little bit more TD heavy, so your team might not be as aggressive. Relatively close across the board in terms of tanks. Low tier, they have a bit better composition with, a Bulldog, 3485, VKD. Debatable, right? Depends on the player a little bit. So we'll just kind of roll this and see what. There we go. One of the positions that lights like to go out to is there's a rock right here. It looks like that's where he's going. I mean, I guess it's okay for early lights a little bit, but if you look at where it is, it's kind of dependent on people actually playing in this field here. I mean, it serves to light the TDs that line up in these rocks, which is good, but I just feel like you're very limited here, almost, because you get there and then what do? You stay there? You can't really move a lot. I don't know. But I'm just going to let it play out. I mean, he wins the game, he does well, so there's something right. It must happen. So you get some damage on that stuff. He's lighting those guys up for his team. That's good. So their Panther went middle road, which is interesting. ELC's going in for some engagement. Alright, so he's bugging out. And if you look at the map quickly, our heavies that went 1-2, they have found no resistance yet. And a lot of their tanks have kind of camped this whole line here. They do have their T-34 over down here, but, KV-4, T-44, that should be able to handle that with the SU-100. So can't get a shot on that. Bulldog's coming in, probably going to take your ELC out, so you need to be wary some of that autoloader. Oh, it stops right in time. It's too bad. It's unlucky. Hopefully you get a shot on him before he moves. Alright, you get a track. Good. You could finish off that Panther if you can. You don't want to trade away HP for nothing, so... Alright, so you get a shot in on him. You're getting shot from the side, though, so you back up. Yeah, see you, Drunk. Thanks for, appreciate you being here, man. Have a good time at work. This Bulldog just doesn't care about you, which is awesome, so hopefully you can get a kill on him. Alright, so he's done. I mean, if we just take a pause to look at the map, their 34 got killed over here, so that just leaves their VK, Pershing, versus your KV-4 and T-44. Your T-44 is virtually full health, and your KV-4 is just under half. So they're looking in good position to win this flank. Your side over here has pushed this entire one, so you more or less have free reign at this point. Assuming these guys have stayed stationary in their positions, which they don't have a lot of map control right now, so they probably have. You can do some funky things, like you could run the road here and get some lights on them. You could go over to the 9-0 and help clear out these guys so that your boys are able to push in from the side, and it's a good avenue approach over there. Given the Ferdy was here, he's probably still in this area, so you don't have to be too worrisome about that. But tanks you haven't seen yet are the Tiger P and AT-7, so if you do go over here, you just want to make sure that you're not kind of overexposing too much. Just gonna fast forward a little bit, see what ends up happening here. So the VK died on the other side. That just leaves the Pershing so far that we know of. Your heavy's in the south. They got a scent, but they should be able to clear them hopefully quick. Okay, I mean it's getting closer. You're starting to lose some tanks. Now your side over here has started to get a bit more resistance, right? T-3485, Pershing, SU-100, but it's still going against the KV-4 and T-44. So I mean, I'm not too worried about those guys over there. Alright, so he spots the AT7. Maybe your M12 will get some hits in on him. Yeah, he's using the you know, the landscape to protect himself from everyone else while proxy spotting the 30. South managed to just basically die all in the same spot, so they didn't learn from the tank before him. So at this point, you know, you've lost your KV4. It's a Pershing and I believe a T-30-45 over there versus your T-44. It doesn't look like your T-25-2 is really assisting that much, so you know, it may have been in your best interest to go over there at the start because you know, even though you've lit the 30 and lit these guys here, a lot of damage didn't get applied onto them, and your south just died. So, you know, it might have been better to go over here first and just clear this side because that flank still hadn't been won yet, right? Whereas this one had. So, if you go over there, if you had gone there quicker and cleared this stuff out, you guys might have been on the backside of these guys quicker, which might have saved some of your guys in the south. But we'll just see how it kind of plays out. 30-45 drops. But then your T-44 drops, so it's Pershing on T-25-2 over there. So, and his health is full, so we'll see what happens to him. So speed it up a little bit. I mean, so now they have the tank advantage, so that's not really good, but alright, get a good hit. You able to finish? Oh, girl. At least I already didn't do anything to you. It looks like a T-25-2 died over there. Oh, so you're just going all in. I love it. Alright, so you get him, you keep moving. Don't get hit by the 30. Not sure if your M12 is going to get a hit on him. That'd be nice. Already fired, so you're good. I think that AT7 just fired on you. Chances are 30's probably turned around to you. Yeah, so he's almost there. And you also spotted the AT7 behind you, so you can't go back too far. Is your own? Oh, that was the Pershing. Okay. Oh, artillery. You needed that hit. So they're closing in on you. Your boys are helping by shooting that AT7, but yeah, you're gonna need him to go down. I mean, you're playing it well, right? You're using the landscape around you to protect you. You're covering firing lanes. You're keeping them lit. You're dodging artillery. You get the kill on AT7, good. You hit a couple of Pershing hits you from cross range. Nothing you could really do about that. But you're feeding your T28 behind you, that 30. So good movements, good plays. Artillery just wants to take you, but can't. So yeah, I would get up on this ridge, try and see if you can spot across for the Tiger P, see if he's out there. You have to be a little bit careful about that Pershing. Like, to me, he's priority right now because, you know, either the Tiger P's following behind him or he's come back this way, but really he's the only threat to your base is that Pershing. So if you can get over there and eliminate, that'd be good. It's a little bit risky to cross the field just like this in case that Tiger was out here somewhere. But, oh, do you get a kill? Get a kill? Kill? Yeah. I mean, that was pretty much the big seal on the deal right there. Is you know, now with your mobility, you can just kind of do whatever you want, more or less. Take it slow and scout different region after region as you move up towards their base, but yeah, it was a good play taking those things out. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. So you don't see anything. So I mean, you have two choices here, right? You can either just stay, or you can kind of go move to the next bush. And the next bush, like you could move to this one and then move to that one. You could even go up the back side of this hill here and look over to see if you can see anything. Because normally artillery is either on the other side of that. He was shooting at you, so he's probably down, over there somewhere, or even he might have moved up this way as well. I don't know what the Tiger P was at. Last time it said full. Just gonna speed it up slightly. You really just don't want to engage him, eh? Okay, that's good. You get spots on the Tiger P. He's in the open, which is not very good for him, because against a T-28, though the T-28, if he gets already, that could be bad. So you're doing the right thing. You're getting a wide flank around him, so you're going to either turn his turret or just get free damage, and he's not even going to turn at you.
Target unlocked.
So I think you're just doing the same thing. You're getting a different angle, being unpredictable, using your mobility to get a better advantage on him. Or you're just going for artillery, either or. But I mean, you hit his butt, and he's really the only last threat. Okay, so your T-28 gets a good shot on him. Just wait for a better shot. Yeah, there you go. Let's move forward slightly, just so. That was too bad. I would have supported your T-28 a bit more, because when you saw a Tiger P pushing him, you knew his gun was going to be on him, so you could have just been behind him, and with your mobility, you can kind of beat his traverse. You still should be fine, because you can take at least one hit. So as long as you make this next one good. So he missed, so he's done. As long as you don't get artillery, and your depression doesn't stop. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of a risk out there. I would have, like I said, I would have been up helping with it when he was engaging your T-28 a bit more, but. And then we'll see. Yeah. $70 here. So yeah, artillery should be back in this corner somewhere. Unless he's moved. Sometimes they like to go up on that ridge up there. Or behind this rock right here. Or back in these bushes right here. That's what he's doing. There he is. Oops. You give it to your artillery guy, or?
Ready to fire.
Kind of like playing chicken a little bit here, isn't it? Let's speed it up a bit. He doesn't really have depression to get down, so you'd be able to maybe clip top of his superstructure. Ugh.
Target acquired. Enemy armor is
Yeah, you
damaged.
should be able to just finish him here.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Yeah, it was a good game. You did well in that southern engagement down there. I think, though, instead of going down there, because you didn't actually get a lot out of it until in the end, it would have been better to help out when you had your KV-4 T-44 down there, just because you could have helped clear those guys so much faster and might have had more tanks alive. These guys probably would have died anyways, because they all died in the same spot. And then at the end there, it got a little bit hairy, because you kind of let the Tiger P push the T-28 without you there, but you could have just been on his backside harassing the hell out of him the entire time. But finished the game, did good. So yeah, appreciate submitting that replay. So that's all the replays that I have for now. In order to keep this at under 2 hours, it's at 1 hour 57 minutes. So I'm gonna stop the stream probably here. Appreciate everyone tuning in and following. I'm gonna put it on the YouTube channel, so you'll be able to watch it whenever you need to. And I might be back on later today, just streaming me playing. So if anyone's interested in watching some of that, well, you'll see me back on. So yeah, once again, appreciate everyone tuning in. And if you're watching the Super Bowl, have fun watching that as well. If you're going to work like drunk, well, too bad working on a Sunday, but someone's got to do it. So um, no problem, Barakdorin. I'll post it here fairly shortly, so hopefully it will be up in time for you to see it. Um, yeah, so I should be on later if you guys want to tune in, and yeah, appreciate you being here. So take care.